It's definitely been a while since I made my original Ranking the Seasons video. In that time, my opinions on the seasons have also changed quite a bit. Plus, we've received some new Ninjago installments that will now be able to fit into this list, so I think it's time to give the people what they want. Today, we'll be ranking each and every single Ninjago season. For the sake of today's video, we will be including things such as The Island and Day of the Departed, so do keep that in mind when watching today's video. With all of this out of the way though, let the show begin. Coming in at the very bottom of this list is most definitely going to be Season 7, Hands of Time. This season had some really great concepts, but the execution just took everything straight down the drain. The animation was terrible for the most part, with a few exceptions here and there. Most scenes were really boring to sit through and actually watch, the dialogue was bad most of the time, it just wasn't fun to watch in the slightest in general. In fact, I think this may be one of the biggest missed opportunities we have ever seen come from Ninjago. Some good concepts, but the execution ultimately killed it a lot. Up next is a season that's probably quite surprising to some of you, but it is going to be Season 3, or just rebooted. This season definitely did have some good concepts and some great moments, but it simply just isn't enjoyable to sit through and watch. It feels almost clunky in some areas, and some aspects of it make the entire season feel like a huge chore to actually watch, which ultimately isn't setting the season up well at all. As with Season 7, it just ended up being a hot mess with some good parts here and there. Day of the Departed. Such a phenomenal concept, I can't even begin to imagine how great this would have been as a full season, but it pains me to say that it just wasn't a season. It was a 45-minute special, and for that reason alone, it sits all the way down here on my list. It just didn't have enough runtime, not enough time to fully flesh things out, and ultimately it felt like a big, rushed mess. Had it been 10 to 13 22-minute episodes long, I think it could potentially be the best Ninjago season out there, but unfortunately that definitely is not the case, and for that reason alone, it's sitting all the way down here on my list. Another Ninjago special is up next, The Island. Now let me just say that I really enjoy what The Island was trying to achieve. It was basically a small taster as to what Seabound would be. It introduced a few key plot points for Seabound as well. However, with that being said, it does not hold up when thrown against most other Ninjago seasons, unfortunately. That being said, there is nothing inherently wrong with it. It served its purpose nicely, gave us a few good moments, but it just isn't something I'd sit and rewatch often at all. I can already see the hate coming my way because of this. Regardless though, I've decided to put Season 2 at this place on my list. I could go off on a rant all day about how this season is disgustingly overrated. That's just genuinely how I feel. The filler episodes at the start of the season were fun and entertaining, the final battle stuff was decent for the most part, but the final battle itself just killed it. It was really underwhelming to me, and it was quite simply overhyped in my eyes. There's very little that I actually enjoy about it. Anyway, rant done, that's all my thoughts on this season summed up. Season 10, a season that I genuinely want to love, but suffered due to a simple lack of episodes. I genuinely believe that if this season had 10 or even 13 episodes, it could have been in my top 3 favourite seasons of all time, but the thing is, it brought us some great concepts, but all of it just felt extremely rushed. Another big thing that this season needed was much more development for the Oni. They were really cool, but also underwhelming in a lot of ways, which definitely did not do this season any favours. Overall, Season 10 is a season that I really want to love, but unfortunately there's too many issues with it due to the fact that it was just so short. Very big unpopular opinion time though. Coming up next is Season 11. Definitely the most hated Ninjago season among most fans. I did actually rewatch this season in full a few months back, and to be honest, it gets way too much hate. I'm not saying that it doesn't have its issues, because it definitely does have a lot of problems, but the good parts here are genuinely pretty good. I love Asphera as a villain, the Ice Emperor was pretty good too, although he did have a few issues. Overall though, I'd say that Season 11 is a pretty damn good season. But a season that's just a little better is definitely going to be Season 12, Prime Empire. I loved the creativity with this one. While some may regard this season as kind of forgettable, I personally disagree with that. I love the concept of the characters breaking their programming as well, kind of gives me Matrix vibes there. Okina was a standout, Unagami was a great and very unique villain. There's just so much good stuff packed into this season, and I think there really is something for everyone to enjoy when it comes to Prime Empire. This one took some thought, but coming up next is Season 4 Tournament of Elements. Is it kind of overrated? Yes. Is it still a good season though? Definitely yes. The concept of there being lots of other elemental masters aside from the ninja was a genius idea, and was so entertaining when first watching this season. Chen, while very annoying, was a pretty decent villain, and the idea of the battle arena on an uncharted island was great. Klaus was a fantastic villain here. Better than Chen in my opinion. Yep, very controversial there. There's just a lot of good stuff going on here that I personally really take a big liking to. With that being said, the season that came after Season 4, Season 5, is quite a big step up. As I said with Season 4 previously, I do actually find some elements of this season to be quite overrated. As a whole, I'd say that it is a good season though, and it is especially entertaining to just watch. Some of the plot points may be kind of odd, but as a whole it is very enjoyable. I would say though that while I liked this season a lot, the relationship between Nia and Ronin was very creepy, and is one major downside to this season. I could have really done without that part, but yeah, as a whole, I enjoy Possession a lot. Coming straight up next is Master of the Mountain, aka Season 13. And this is by far one of my favourite new Ninjago seasons. Shintaro is awesome, the side characters were great, the Skull Sorcerer was good for what he was, Cold Focus, at last, focus on the elemental power of Earth, all of it is just amazing, and this is the definition of a new Ninjago season gone right. There's very little that I actually dislike about this season. Sure, the middle was a little weaker when compared to the rest of it, but I still don't think there was ever a bad episode. At the very least, it was just good. Everything else was great. Seabound, however, took things even further. First of all, we finally got a great Nia-focused season, a great focus on her elemental powers, an incredible villain, and to top things off, we got a phenomenal finale. Dare I say, probably one of the best we've ever seen. Honestly, this is a wild brain season gone completely right. I feel as though the creators have really mastered this new format, as displayed by this season in particular, and to be honest, I could not have really asked for much more. After a really quick rewatch of the Oni trilogy recently, I can safely say that Hunted, or just Season 9, is up next. This season is a strange case, as I love the overall story it tells, but certain individual episodes can feel kind of boring. The First Realm story also became stale pretty quickly. That being said, I do love the Iron Baron as a villain, and the story in Ninjago made up for that. I think every arc here was executed fabulously. Harumi had a great death scene, as weird as that does sound, I know, and Emperor Garmadon just kept getting better and better. Seeing Lloyd's development throughout this season was also great. However, Season 8 is just better than Season 9. We, of course, get introduced to the new animation style, the new designs for the ninja. Every change that was made was overdue, and it just worked really well. It just flowed well as well. It helped make the show feel a lot more mature, which was another much needed change. The concept of the Quiet One was amazing, and the Sons of Garmadon overall were, well, solid villains. The standout of them being Mr. E. I think my main complaint for this season would be, I just wish we could have seen Mr. E's true identity be revealed. It felt like it was always leading up to that moment, but it just never happened, unfortunately. Other than that though, Season 8 is a great season. Now, you could consider this to be the #1 spot, as I do honestly love both pretty much equally, but Season 1 is a masterpiece in my opinion, and is the embodiment of how great Ninjago is. The pacing of this season is incredible, and gives every ninja just enough time to tell their own unique story, and allow us, the audience, to feel more connected to each and every one. The stories as well are all unique, seeing them overcome a personal obstacle was also nice, and the true potential of each ninja was a great addition. The villains are really charming and iconic as well, and while they may not be the most evil ones out there, they are some of the most interesting and funniest ones if you ask me. This season also had its fair share of plot twists, for example, Zane being a robot, Lloyd being the Green Ninja. They were both phenomenal plot twists that not many people really saw coming, so overall, Season 1, Rise of the Snakes, is the ideal, perfect Ninjago season. However, with that being said, there is one season that's just a bit better. That is Season 6, Skybound. I am probably the biggest Skybound fan out there, but let me just run you through why I love Season 6 so much. First of all, the main reason, Nadir. Anything from his design, to his motives, to his overall personality works so nicely. He genuinely did make this season so spectacular. The Sky Pirates as well were really great, the J-focus was amazing, and the concept of one ninja being captured into the Sword of Souls throughout each and every episode was awesome, and wasn't something we had ever really seen before. Jay's character evolved a lot in this season, seeing his mature and serious side was incredible. I will say, the first few episodes were pretty big stinkers. Dareth as well was terrible, but the episodes that followed after made up for this. But then, the finale. It was just spectacular, if I am being completely honest. I did love everything about it, and for these main reasons, I just love Skybound so much. Finally, there we have it. I hope you all enjoyed this long, overdue ranking of the Ninjago seasons thus far. Before you click off the video, please do be sure to drop your season rankings down below in the comment section. I would love to hear some fresh, new thoughts. If you are new here and are interested in seeing a lot more content similar to this, subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell would be greatly appreciated. Additionally, I would appreciate it if you could drop a like on today's video if you did enjoy. But with all of this being said, I will see you all in my next one.